Little mood music. How you all doing, Saints? Oh, I'm sorry about that. I wanted to try out some of the new gadgets that I'm learning to use on the Restream app. But shalom, 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 shalom. I'm learning to accept all the vernaculars that our fellow Hebrew, our Israelites are using. I want to promote unity. I do not think that unity can be achieved, however, without truth, and that there has to be a degree of truth in our unification efforts. I praise the Most High. He is the source of all health, all strength, all might, all power, all goodness. He is the source of it. And I give him honor and praise. In my happiest hours and in my darkest hours. When I'm feeling good and when I'm feeling bad. Yahweh is good. And everything that he does in righteousness. So I would like to present this message today very quick. When I do these little words of the week, when I do a full-blown lesson, I take apart like the principal scriptures and see if there's any concordant scriptures and any history and any law that can coincide with the subject matter I'm bringing up. And more often than not, I can take a particular subject matter and dissect it. Or I can take a particular subject matter and streamline it and keep it in the context of that subject to maximize the subject's understanding. Over the years, I've learned how to perfect what I was taught. And by perfecting what I taught, I mean how to teach people without indoctrination. The indoctrination should be to truth and the understanding of truth, not to doctrine itself. So today I want to talk about the unity of the Spirit and the power of unity of the Spirit, the unifying power. There's unity when we all share the same Spirit. The same Spirit will make sure that we all, as Paul had asked, that we all speak the same thing and that we all be of the same mind and the same judgment, perfectly joined together in the same mind and the same judgment. So I want to talk about how we talk about this achievement of and the power and how we achieve this unity of the Spirit. It has to be through the Spirit. We must all partake of that true Spirit, the Spirit of Hamashiach, the Ruach HaKodesh, the Spirit that gave power to the Hamashiach. I want to talk about how we unify in that power. Ephesians, the 4th chapter. Let's really understand what the unity of the Spirit means and all the examples that Paul has given. I want to go Ephesians, the 4th chapter. First, we're going to go verses 1 through 3, and then we're going to go through verses 11 through 16. Verses 1 through 3 of Ephesians, the 4th chapter. Paul says, I therefore, the prisoner of Yahweh, beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye are called, that ye walk worthy of the vocation wherewith ye were called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. The unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. How can we find examples when there was unity of the Spirit in our walk? Well, the first one that comes to mind, well, it's not the first one, but the first thing that comes to mind is the day of Pentecost in Acts, the 2nd chapter. It specifically says that they were all came into the same place at the same time, and they were on one accord. That is power within itself. However, when they came and did what was necessary, then the greater power rushed through the door as a mighty rushing wind filled the whole house that they were in, and they were all blasted with the Ruach. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Peace is what bonds the unity of the Spirit. There is no peace when there is no unity. There is no peace when there is no unity. That's why we have to walk in agreement. And look at how we are to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of the peace, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love. That is how you endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace, humility, long suffering. Long suffering is an extension of patience. It is a longer sentence of time than just mere patience. Long suffering, forbearing one another in love. Love. The key word is love. And we're going to find that out when we read these scriptures. Let's jump to the 11th chapter. Actually, let's go to 11. I'm sorry. 11 through 16. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach, till we all come in the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Mashiach. Now we get another term, the unity of the faith. Unity of the faith. Verse 14, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. Let me read that again. That we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Mashiach, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. Listen how verse 16. From whom the whole body, the body of Mashiach, fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body. So when every part of the body is performing its function, it maketh increase into the body. And that way it edifies itself in love. It's like all the saints together in a congregation of Israelites. You feed off of each other's spirit. You feed off of the ruach that is in everyone else around you. And you all are compacted together, fitly, rightly joining yourselves into the body of, into the family of Yah. Philippians, brothers and sisters, the first chapter, verse 27. Only let your conversation be as it becometh the gospel of Mashiach, that whether I come and see you or else be absent, I may hear of your affairs, that ye stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. Stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel. Let's roll over to Philippians, the second chapter. Let's go through 1 through 5. If there be therefore any consolation in Mashiach, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Spirit, if any bowels and mercies, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. See, this is the unification of the Spirit. This is the unification of the Spirit. Look, fulfill ye my joy, that ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves. When do you see that? where someone else will esteem someone else better than themselves. Look not to every man his own things, but look upon the things of others. Love ye therefore your neighbor as ye love yourself. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And love the stranger. For you are strangers in the land of Egypt. And you know the heart of a stranger. And you shall love the stranger. And he should be as one that is born in the land. Do you see the unity across the board here? Unity, one law for the homeborn, for the stranger, oneness. The Creator is one. He wants to bring all the righteous of humanity into the one family. Let's go to the first book of Peter real quick. Chapter 3 and verse 8. Finally, be all of one mind. Here we go with the one mind again. Having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful, be courageous. Not rendering evil for evil or railing for railing, but contrariwise blessing. Know that ye are thereto called that ye should inherit a blessing. Be ye all of one mind, having compassion on one another. Be ye all of one mind, having compassion on one another. Be ye all of one mind, having compassion on one another. Romans, please. The 15th chapter, verses 5 through 7. I love this. For whatsoever things were written, I'm going to go to verse 4 of Romans, the 15th chapter. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Now, Yahweh of patience and consolation grant you to be like-minded one toward another according to Yeshua HaMashiach, that ye may be with one mind and of one mouth glorify Yahweh, even the Father of our Master, Yeshua HaMashiach. What can I say? What can I say? Romans 12 and 16. We can hit that real quick, and I'll just knock that out, just throw that in as an egg. But be of the same mind one toward another. Mind not high things, but condescend to men of low estate. Be not wise in your own conceits. Be of the same mind one towards another. You know, Paul understood the concept of fitly and rightly joining the body together so that it will function correctly. If the foot says to the mouth, I want to talk, the foot is out of pocket. If the ear says to the arm, I want to swing, the ear is out of pocket. Every member must do its job. First, the members must find out what their job is within the body and be willing to fulfill it and do it with grace and happiness. When we unify together, everyone, and we use the Spirit to unify, and we lower and humble ourselves, think about the estate of others. When we do that, the Spirit will take over. It will get into each and every one of us, and we will all be on the same accord. That's the only way to be on the same accord, is for us to engage in the unity of the Spirit and take those steps: humility, long suffering, love towards one another, forbearing one another, if we take all the steps that Paul mentioned in the scriptures that I have presented, then we will see a chain of command that allows us to perform gathering ourselves together in light of the unity of the spirit and the unity of the faith. We're talking about a union of souls that have the Ruach HaKodesh in them, operating and functioning together like the body of the Mashiach. And I will say no more. It's very important that the nation walk together so that we can be agreed. The nation must walk together so that we can be agreed on where to walk and what to do. That we no more debate over the Creator's word, that we all look at the word in the same spirit, in the same light, and we go forth together, join together perfectly in the same mind and the same judgment, and we can walk forth together in peace and love. Thank you, saints. I appreciate you very much for joining me. I'm going to give you a little. I appreciated everyone that had the chance to listen. I'm thankful to the Most High. May Yah bless and keep you. May Yah cause his face to shine upon you and give you peace. May he lift up his countenance upon you. And that is my this deep and sincere prayer, that the Most High Spirit will be an habitation in your soul. Hallelujah.